Hey everyone, I'm Steph,
And I'm Megan.
and welcome to another episode of Late Night Reads.
This week we are talking contemporary romance and covering Pucking Around by Emily Rath. And oh my God, the pun right there, just pucking around, fucking around. Like, I can't. It's too funny. I love it.
So let's start with why we selected Pucking Around, besides the
Mhm.
fun puns that you know we're going to
Yes.
drop.
Yeah.
We do love a good hockey romance. Megan might go feral for hockey players, just ask her husband.
This is his jersey. We all know a guy with the last name on the back. You wear your man's jersey, he's going to go feral. Just saying.
It is what it is.
That's what it is. Love it.
We don't make the rules.
I don't make the rules. I just follow them. I'm a puck bunny. What can I say?
So, this book is also a contemporary romance I choose. Need we say more? It's definitely the spiciest book we've covered on the podcast, and you're welcome.
You're welcome. For sure.
We also love the extremely different personalities of each of the men. There's literally something for everyone. Personally, I'm more of a Jake gal, but I wouldn't say no to any of them, assuming I wasn't like happily married and they weren't fictional, of course. I mean, of course.
Of course, naturally. Yeah.
And the entire series is super bingeable. It's impossible for us to just read this book and not immediately dive into the rest of the series too.
Oh, yes. Hands down. Had to instantly like download everything else. But first, here are some things that you should know about the author, Emily Rath. So she is a New York Times, USA Today, and #1 Amazon bestselling author of romance and fantasy. She holds a BA in political science and philosophy. She has 2 MAs in political science and PhDs in peace studies and political science. I mean, what doesn't she like know at this point in life? And then she writes these amazing books. Like, I love it. And then, while she was a university professor, she specialized in teaching modern African politics, international relations, development studies, and peace studies. Again, I'm just like amazed. So she started her career then as an indie author, as a self-publishing books with little more than like a hope and a prayer, like maybe somebody will like these. But now on Amazon and Amazon alone, she has over 600 million pages read of her books. Like, it's just phenomenal. Like, she currently has works that have been translated into 12 different languages and counting. She's also a full-time author now and like lives in the Pacific Northwest with her husband, kids, and 3 very needy and unruly cats. That's her phrasing.
Not ours.
But not ours. But basically, she's a badass and she's super smart and can write really funny, witty books. Love it.
That we loved. So,
Mhm.
before jumping into discussing this book, as always, this episode will contain spoilers. We assume if you're listening that you've read this book, you have been warned. And this book does contain some topics that may be sensitive for some readers that we will talk about on this episode, primarily anxiety and bullying.
Yes. But now let's talk tropes. So first up, our favorite trope forever is going to be the why choose trope. 3 men, 1 gal. Sign us up, please. Put me in, coach. I'll take it. So she has a relationship with 3 men, but that's not exactly what Rachel had on her bingo card when she first moved to Jacksonville. But it's pretty much inevitable after she met each one of them. Then next, of course, we have hockey romance. This entire series centers around the Jacksonville Rays, which is a new NHL team where 2 of the main characters are the players, while Caleb is in the equipment manager role. And then Rachel works as the team doctor. Definitely not going to be a conflict of interest in there.
Not at all. No HR
No,
violations going on.
No HR
whatsoever.
violations. Just sign a form and you're fine. It's all
It'll be
good.
fine.
And then we have forced proximity. So because they're all on the same team and they also have pretty hectic schedules, it makes it impossible for them to ever really be apart from one another because like they're always traveling together and then they're home together. You're just going to be around each other all the time. And then we have the he falls first trope, which Jake definitely fell for Rachel when he first met her in Seattle. That's in the little novella that you read beforehand. But if you didn't read it, it's okay. You also find out that she seems to fall pretty hard for him, but he was much more willing to move like very, very fast. Like, move in with me. I love you. Come on, let's go. We could maybe say the same for Ilmari. He seems to fall for Rachel very quickly before she even notices it, but he's a man of very few words, so he doesn't always let on verbatim. Then next we have friends to lovers. Caleb and Rachel start off as friends, but they quickly grow into something more after the nightclub scene. And then lastly, we have found family. The four of them literally create their own little family dynamic that is solidified at the end of the book. So sweet. And of course, you have your puppy dog. So you're just like, it's a one big family. Love it.
Right?
Who doesn't love Poseidon?
Exactly. I love dogs. We're
Yes.
all
We're
for
dog
dogs.
people. Yeah.
We are. Okay, in terms of all the drama, there's a lot that goes on, starting with that novella that one night, which I think was just a great way to start into the series. I devoured that.
Yeah.
So, for those of you that haven't read it, quick, super fast synopsis. Jake meets Rachel in Seattle. They have an incredible night of sex together. However, Rachel refuses to have them share any names or like any other major details about each other. I think the most that they know is she's a doctor and he's probably an athlete, just based on his body, right? And the next morning she leaves without waking him. Oh, and they're both twins. Like that's what we got.
It's really fun. Yeah.
So fast forward 2 months since Rachel was in Seattle, and that was for her twin brother Harrison's wedding. And she has this incredible one night stand with Jake that she continues to fantasize about, rightfully so, based on what I read. And she is currently reeling from not getting this Barkley fellowship in sports medicine that she had planned for her future. So like everything that she thought was going to happen has just like went down the drain. So instead, she's staying in Cincinnati, and we do love some Cincinnati on this show.
We do love Cincinnati, the good old nasty natty.
Yep. And continuing her residency with Dr. Halla. And things change very, very quickly when she finds out like another fellow was super dumb and went whitewater rafting right before he was supposed to start his fellowship, got injured. Now he can't do it. So she'll be taking his spot. And she is just like, okay, great. You're going to go to the Jacksonville Rays hockey team. You need to move to Florida in the next 2 days, which is honest to God, my worst nightmare. Being told I have to pack up and move in like 2 days. No, I'm a planner. Like I need weeks of preparation.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. So her move to Florida doesn't start off very great. The airline loses her bags and she's just like, oh my God, this is so frustrating. Like she's trying to talk to this airport lady and she's like trying to be calm, not trying to be snarky. And then she's also accidentally ignoring texts from her pickup, the guy, whoever's supposed to be picking her up, like for over an hour. And so then we get to meet Caleb, who is the guy that's been waiting around for an hour to pick her up. And Rachel finds him attractive immediately. She's like, damn, boy, like he's got a surfer bod. He's got literally like the surfboard on the back. And then he comes with the dog. So you're like, bonus, bonus. I love it so much. She even kind of like blurts it out accidentally without thinking, which she tends to do. But whatever. We love her anyway. But he's basically just this hot guy in a Jeep with a surfboard and a dog, picks him up from the airport. I mean, yes, I'll move to Jacksonville if that's the case. No problem. Just don't tell my husband. But then their meet cute gets even more interesting when the luggage that she does have with her basically explodes and he's helping her pick it up. But he finds a large purple-shaped dildo with like octopus tentacles. And she's like, oh my God, that's not mine. That must have been a gag gift from my friend. I have a lot
That I
of
decided
questions
to
about.
pack.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I'm like, I have a lot of questions. What does this look like? How does it move? Where are the batteries? Like, tell me all the things. And Caleb also has a lot of questions. He's just like, I'm sorry, what? And he's also just like kind of starstruck in the terms of like not expecting the new team doctor to be drop dead gorgeous, have like a cool like septum piercing, and pretty much just introduce herself with a dildo all within 5 minutes. And honestly, this is just one of the many reasons why Caleb first nicknames her Hurricane, and it fits. She is a hurricane.
She definitely is. And then she gets to go to this seashell-laden apartment that is the opposite of what I would expect for her. She has like no real clothes options for the next day because she has like, I think there was like a dress, like some sort of formal dress, like the purple
Evening
dildo,
gown. Yeah.
like an evening gown, right?
Priorities. I have my purple dildo and I have my evening gown.
What else do I need in Jacksonville? Nothing. So she makes a quick Target run, decides to relax on her patio with some wine. She's had a rough day. It's been a rough 48 hours. Okay. She also assumes it's a private situation. So she's only wearing like a crop band tee and underwear, specifically a thong. And I'm just like, that's not what I would wear outside, but to each his own. And
I mean,
then
it is hot in Florida, so
it is hot in Florida. But that probably would have been fine, except that she locked herself out of her apartment and apartment maintenance is closed. Caleb isn't answering his texts because he happens to live next door to her. And so she starts screaming to get the dog's attention. This is why dogs are so helpful. And then Caleb finally steps out on the patio and he's enjoying the view because like she's like half naked,
Yeah,
right?
he's like,
And
hello.
hello. He's like, well, why don't you just like call the police? No, thank you. No one wants to meet the police on their first night in Jacksonville or anywhere. While also not, I don't want to meet the police while I'm wearing a thong and no bra. Like, no, thank you. And then she's like, I'm just gonna climb over to your patio. It'll be fine. But my favorite part is like while this is happening and after he's like trying to talk her out of it and clearly is unsuccessful, she's like, also, I use the purple dildo. It vibrates and feels amazing. But we're never going to talk about it again. And I'm like, totally believe that.
Yeah.
Um,
We're going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it again. Like it's going to come out. I feel like it was very obvious. Plus, also, can you imagine being Caleb? Like you have a half naked woman climbing over into your patio balcony that you were already attracted to, who's now talking about the purple dildo that she does use, in fact. And like she kind of like jumps on him, he like catches her and he gets like a handful of like her ass and a variety of other things.
He's
and
just
I'm
like, my hand's on your, and she's like, yep, I know. Your hand's on my boob,
fine.
your hand's on my ass. It's fine.
And they both like it because their sexual spark is like kind of off the charts very, very quickly. However, she is very committed that nothing is going to happen between her and Caleb because she's still not over this mystery boy from Seattle who had, who we know is Jake, but she doesn't. Plus, she does not want to get entangled with coworkers. So oddly enough, she ends up like crying while Caleb holds her and then falls asleep on his couch. And I'm like, you are a hurricane. You have made a very unique impression on this man in like 3-4 hours.
Yeah. Oh my God. That also was not on his bingo card for anything.
No.
He's just like, what? Ugh.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And the next morning, Rachel starts the day off by giving Caleb a key to her apartment. And he's just like slightly alarmed by it. He's like, this is moving fast. And she's like, no, it's because like I literally don't know anybody else here. And like you're right next door. So you might as well help me out. Unless you want me jumping over your balcony again.
Which he's like that.
Probably like, yeah, that was fine. Yeah, exactly. So then we learned that this is the Jacksonville Rays' first season as a team. And construction is still going on their facilities. And it's just like literally like they are building everything from scratch. Like the team from scratch, the building is literally building from scratch. So then while Rachel is at work, she quickly gets to meet the operations manager, Vicky, who you definitely want to be on your good side. And then she meets the head of PR, which is Poppy St. James. And she's probably the definition of like a spitfire and extremely excited about Rachel joining the team. Not just because she's a beautiful, talented doctor, but to be mentioned, Rachel's daddy also happens to be a rock and roll legend. Literally imagine as if her dad was like Steven Tyler from Aerosmith or, just like from like Guns N' Roses or just like amazing. Just like
Bon Jovi.
Everybody knows who he is. And basically within minutes of meeting Rachel, Poppy is already thinking of like, Rachel, can you ask your dad if he could sing the national anthem at a future game? Like, she does not waste any time getting to the point. And that's also when we learn that Rachel wants to keep her family connection quiet, even though we don't really learn why until much later in this book. But it makes sense that she's like, this is my own thing. I keep my family out of it.
And that's also a lot to ask someone like when you first meet them. Hi, can your dad come?
Yeah. And she's just like, wow, nice to meet you. Why don't you get to know me for me first, please? Thank you.
Right. And then we also find out that Caleb used to be a professional hockey player, but he suffered a career-ending injury in his first NHL game, which is why he has this limp that we see throughout the book. And that Caleb and Jake have been best friends for a long time. Like since they played in junior league, they went to the same college, they were drafted on the same NHL team, but their personalities could not be more different. Caleb is like dark and broody, and Jake is like golden retriever energy, right?
Yes.
Which is why like he's my jam.
Yeah.
Like so much so. But Jake is also the one who helped pull Caleb out of his like grief spiral post-injury, which is why like Caleb and Jake lived together in LA when Jake was out there for another team. And Jake is like constantly doing things behind the scenes, like pulling strings for his friends without taking any credit for it, which I really love. And this long term friendship is why other players refer to them as domestic life partners or DLPs. And I was like, okay. Like, you can have a soulmate who is not necessarily like a romantic soulmate. I believe in that, which is how I thought about them at the beginning of the book. Obviously, that changes, but
Like one of my best friends, like we call each other bae. We're just like, you're my bae. Like
yeah,
my girl, you're my bae. But for them, it evolves.
it does. So the moment we all knew was coming, Rachel finally runs into the mystery boy again in the parking garage. Hello, Jay Compton. And she quickly
Hi.
realizes it's Caleb's best friend. And then she thinks he doesn't recognize her, which is like, oh, such a blow to the ego because like she's been dreaming about this guy for months and he doesn't have a reaction when they see each other. And all I thought of is it's like you go on this date with this guy or whatever when you're younger, or well, when I was younger. And then like the next day you're like, hi. And they're just like, who are you? And you're just like, what the actual fuck? So, but that's not what happens because Jake, his head explodes. Like,
Yes.
I loved reading his POV. He was like, wait, that looks, oh, what? Oh,
Yeah.
oh God. Right?
He like literally was just like, I was looking at my phone and not paying attention. And then when I did, I was like, oh my God.
But it was like almost like that looks like the girl from Seattle, but like she's wearing glasses, but like she doesn't have a nose ring. Oh God, I think it, oh my God. Like, and his words can't come out, which is very surprising for someone who is rarely speechless.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when we realize, you know, obviously the woman he refers to as Hot Doc, or the team does as Hot Doc, is the mystery girl from Seattle. And then he ultimately confesses how he could never forget her, how she's all he thinks about. And then Rachel's like, great, but nothing can happen because we work together and I'm going to be your doctor. But Jake's like, no, I don't like that option. And then like 2 seconds later, they're making out against his truck, which I was like, yes, 10 out of 10, highly recommend. But then Rachel's so worried about her career and insists they can't be anything more than friends. And Jake's like, okay, your contract's 10 months. I can wait 10 months. But once 10 months is over, like you will be mine and you're never going to leave me again. And I was just like, I am here for a man who is like golden retriever energy and is very clear with what he wants.
And then you're also like, yeah,
games.
That's not going to last. That 10 month? No, please.
No, I was like, when you mean 10 months, you mean 10 days? Because I feel like that might be pushing it.
I mean, you couldn't even wait 10 minutes, honestly. Like, come on.
Right?
So then Jake, you know, is kind of like playing catch up here. And he believes that something happened between Rachel and Caleb the night before. And he wants to know what it is. He's like, what's going on? Like, you guys are acting weird. What happened? And at this point, like, yes, he still technically like barely knows her, but he's feeling very jealous and just like complete anguish from the thought of her being with Caleb and not with him. So it's interesting how much these feelings eventually change for him throughout the course of the book, that he's like, I'm okay with sharing now.
Yes.
When he originally was not. So then next we get the point of view from Ilmari, or Mars, as some people call him, because it's Finnish and people don't know how to say Ilmari, and they just go, Mars. And he's like, okay, whatever. That's my impression anyway. But he's also referred to the bear on the ice. And this man is seriously a surprise. Like one surprise after another throughout this entire book, throughout the entire series. Like, you don't realize what he's actually going through. He's battling a groin injury that he has not told anybody about, which is very typical of like a professional athlete, because he's like trying to keep it hidden, that he doesn't get pulled from the ice and like nobody thinks less of him. But he's also trying to get on the Finnish Olympic team for hockey. And so we learn here that also his grandfather and his father played for the Finnish Olympic team. And this upcoming Olympics is probably his last opportunity to continue the family legacy. And at this point in the book, we don't know that the family he references isn't his biological family, but is more so like the family that like helped look after him. So I guess in a way you could say he had like a chosen found family too.
Yeah.
But we love Ilmari.
Yes, we do. He also notices Rachel and has seen the countless comments about the hot doc and the team group chat. He likes to try and remove himself from group chats as much as possible, but like Jake keeps adding him back in, which is such like a golden retriever thing. Like, no, you will be part of the group. And I'm like, No, I requested to be removed from the group chat because I didn't want to.
Yes, yes.
So, for the most part, he keeps very much to himself in the first part of the book until Rachel starts to get him to open up. So, speaking of Rachel, she makes it very clear that Amari needs a physical from her, which he strategically avoids for as long as possible, especially when he learns her specialty is hips and knees. And I was like, dude, you are a walking red flag for a doctor. Like, you are purposely avoiding this. Like, she knows something is wrong. She's used to working with professional athletes.
And also, he's
So,
a goalie. And I'm like, goalies are known for having hip and joint, like knees issues. Like, literally, like every time I saw my husband going down to the butterfly, I was like, how are your knees? Are you okay? Like, did you stretch?
like, is that normal?
Yeah, because my husband was a goalie. So I'm just like, I know. I'm like, yeah, you're going to need this. This doctor
See,
is watching you, buddy.
I have my
Mhm.
eyes on you.
Mhm.
So, while Rachel has kept Mystery Boy a secret for the past 2 months, she finally tells her best friend Tess about him, including that Jake is one of the players on the team. And I thought it was immediately impossible to not love Tess based on
Yeah.
like her personality. I just absolutely adored her character. And she's like all for it. She's like, Rachel, you should go for it. You should do whatever makes you happy. Like, I,
Yes.
which I was like, yes. And this is also when we learn that Jake has been texting Rachel nonstop since he got her number from Caleb.
Yeah.
Not like by Caleb's choice. I think he
Yeah.
was
He's just like,
threatened.
give me your phone. I want her number. Give it to me now. But then
But
he sends her the funniest things. Just
he
like the
does,
fucking seagull.
like pelicans, right? Like what
Oh,
he's
yeah.
eating for breakfast, like weird things. But I also loved it because I was like, you told him you can't be with him. So his way of communicating that he's thinking about you is to do this. And Rachel has not responded to a single message. But Tess is like, why don't you just send him like a boob pic? That'll drive him wild. And Rachel's like, okay, oh, why not? And I'm like, hold on. We're not talking to him. We can be nothing more than like colleagues. And now we're at boob pic?
Yes.
You have very different definition of colleagues than I do.
Well, some wine was involved, so
I mean,
it's okay. Sometimes we get a
but
little tipsy and we're like, little boob, little side
I
boob.
would have signed that HR form a long time ago. Like I would have been
Oh.
like, hi, Vicky, don't even leave the parking garage. Come here, I need a form.
Like, I've already slept with this guy. I need to sign your form. Done.
Yeah.
So then once again, when Jake gets this image, his brain explodes and he's just like, holy fuck. He's like, yes, it's happening. One small problem. He is out at a beach bar with some of the other guys and was not expecting to get a boob pic. So he's just like, fuck, 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 fuck. What do I do? And so he calls her and we get our first little like tame spicy scene of the book where they end up video chatting as Jake tells her where to touch herself, leading both of them to masturbate on video. Jake is locked away in the bathroom though. So she's at her apartment and he's like in a public restroom, just like, fuck.
And like a dingy, that's what I imagine. Like a dingy one stall bathroom where like
just master. If anybody else walked in, they'd be like, oh no, no. So that was a fun time. But then afterwards, Rachel claims this is all that can happen between them. But Jake's like all in. He's like, fine, I'll take whatever I can get. He's like, whatever you want, I'll do it. Promising to basically treat her right because she is it for him. I'm like, oh, honey, you're in trouble. You're in so much trouble here. So while Jake's feelings towards Rachel may seem slightly crazy, it's very, very real. And even Caleb has noticed a difference in Jake since he met his precious Seattle girl, which is cute. That's what he calls her. So Caleb calls her Hurricane. Jake calls her Seattle. And Jake has just been quieter and moodier over the past 2 months without Rachel around. And Caleb at first believes you just need to get back into the season. Like, you need to get over the Seattle girl. Go find a few puck bunnies. That's what they call the hockey groupie girls. One problem, Caleb does not realize that Rachel is Seattle girl. So we also then learn a little bit about Caleb and his point of view that he is bisexual. And he actually didn't even realize it until after his hockey career came to an end. But he has been pretty much celibate for almost a year now. And maybe every once in a while has like tiny little hookups here and there, but like nothing really. Because he wants to have connection and intimacy and find someone who challenges him and like gets him. But at the end of the day, like, isn't that what we all really want?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Caleb doesn't care. He's like, I don't care if it's a guy. I don't care if it's a girl. I just want someone.
Yeah.
Can anybody find me somebody to love? To quote the Queen song, you know?
He's about to.
He's about to.
So, and then did we mention that they all like to haze each other?
Oh my God.
So, both Langley and Rachel get hazed when Langley is convinced by another player that he needs to strip down for his physical, on his knees. Like,
Uh-huh.
I'm also like, Ryan,
Honey.
puppy. Like, this
Puppy.
is why your nickname is Puppy in the second book, because, oh my
Mhm.
God, like, you're wearing shorts. She can see your knees. But, like, can you imagine,
Yes.
like, walking into this room and seeing a man half naked when you're just like,
Oh
what is
my.
happening? Why are your
Mhm.
pants down? I can see your knee. Like, what? So,
Okay. Yeah.
okay. So Rachel, who apparently has not found Google, has at all, because I would have Googled all of these men by now. She
Right.
learns about Caleb's career-ending hockey injury after she witnesses him providing some harsh feedback to another player. And she makes like a snide comment about like, well, who made you coach?
Like, if you're so good,
Um,
like, why don't you go out there and do it? And it's like,
yes.
ooh.
And I'm
Ooh.
just like, ooh, maybe you should have done a quick little like Google search, some internet research on all of the players. Like, if you and I were in charge of this, there would be no skeletons left in their closet. Like,
Oh
internet
no.
sleuthing would have been completed day one about
Yes.
all of them.
I go full FBI background on your Facebook, on your Instagram, on your social, like anything. I will find
Everything
you.
about you. I will find you and I will know it.
I will know
So,
who your neighbors are and what their children look like.
and whether or not they've been arrested.
Yes, I will find it all.
Correct.
Mhm.
So then she like does Google him and she's like, oh, my bad. So she has to apologize to him, which is like an awkward situation because like he doesn't want her to pity him. But I think specifically for her, because she has worked with so many professional athletes, like it's not pity, it's empathy because she knows how hard it is to recover from that type of injury to even have the level of function that he does today. And there's like this moment where I'm like, oh, they're going to kiss. And she's like, I think he's going to kiss me. But no dice. There's no kissing. I'm like, Caleb is like a puzzle, right? It's like a slide puzzle. Just like when you think you're about to get it, it's like blocked again.
So rude. So, so rude. And then there comes another little hazing prank when Rachel's truck is filled up with like tiny little ball pit balls, like literally the ones like my kids play with, but like the entire truck is filled with it. And a bunch of guys were just waiting in the parking garage to like watch her reaction when she opens it. And they're filming it. I think it's hilarious. And then seeing that her truck is now occupied with tons of balls, balls in the face everywhere. Woo! Which
And
is a
later,
precursor. I'm like, I feel like that's a, yep. But it gives Jake the perfect excuse to take her out to dinner. And the rookies are going to have to stay behind and clean up this whole mess. And he's like, come on, you're coming with me. Let's go. So then next up is their first away game. And Rachel has made the mistake of sitting in Elmari's seat on the plane. She had no idea that she was then expected to like know that on the first trip. Or honestly, like how could anyone have known that? But hockey guys specifically are very superstitious. I think also like probably baseball guys too, where they're just like, if this worked, I need to sit here the entire rest of my life and like everything else will go to plan. But she doesn't know this, of course. And Elmari tries to convince her to move seats, but Rachel refuses, not understanding why he has to be in that seat. And honestly, she's assuming that it's just more hazing, maybe flirting. She's like
but
confused by him.
awkward, weird
But
flirting.
awkward flirting, yeah. She's like, I don't understand. And then Jake steps in and tells her, like, hey, you know what? There's two rules in hockey. Number one, you never touch the goalie. Goalie is off limits, and you never piss him off. Like, mm-mm. So if Elmari says that's his seat, then she needs to move. So she does move to the aisle seat. Ha ha ha. And apparently that's not good enough, though, because he needs the entire row to himself. So she finally just gives up and starts to move to another row, but she's stopped by the flight attendant and forces her to basically sit back down in that same row again. So basically, he now has to deal with her sitting next to him. And then, because she sat next to him, apparently he won the game the next day. And now they're like, you have to sit next to me every single game. So every future flight, he's like, you need to sit here because I had a shutout game. You need to sit here. You're my good luck charm. And everybody's like, don't fuck with the goalie.
Can someone explain to me how sitting next to him like logically caused him to have a shutout game, and why therefore if she sits next to him on future flights that would
No,
also cause it to happen. Okay.
it's all
Just
superstition. There's no rhyme or reason. Nothing. Just
okay, just
superstition.
wanted to make sure that like there wasn't some logical path that I was missing.
No. But she does get to sit next to a sexy Viking.
I mean, is that
I
really
mean,
bad? Because I don't think
it's
it
not
is.
bad at all. It's okay. As long as he's showered. Because
Which
hockey
I think he
players
does.
really
She says
don't.
he smells
Yeah,
really good.
smells good. Yeah.
Mm,
So I'm
okay.
like, there's worse things.
There are worse things. So when the team is in DC, Poppy, who I adore, has arranged for all of the players to have a VIP experience at a club. I was slightly surprised by this, mainly because I was like, I feel like this is a PR scandal waiting to happen, Poppy, but yet you are creating it. I get she's trying to build the brand, right?
Yeah.
And this is like one of many events she set up for them, and she's very, very good at her job. But it's like encouraging them to, I don't know, be
Get into
very
trouble.
public, get into trouble,
Yeah.
drink, be around a bunch of
Yeah.
puck bunnies.
Yeah.
So Rachel, because she is also playing chess, has been telling Jake, like, we can't be anything more than friends. But I'm just going to go ahead and wear the same outfit I wore in Seattle that night.
Just like
Right?
super sexy, low cut jumpsuit with like a no back. And you're like, damn, girl.
I'm also like, this is a work function.
Yeah, right. She's got her septum back in. She's just like feeling herself. I'm
Well,
like,
and then
what doctor does that?
Well, then he's also feeling her because like 2 seconds later, they're in the van and there's some light groping going on, making it very obvious that both of them are turned on. Then that leads to some grinding while they're at the club, or as Rachel calls it, fucking with clothes on.
Basically.
Which apparently is allowed.
That's okay. That's allowed. Okay.
I think that's allowed. So right now we're up to boob pics, masturbating while on video calls, and fucking with clothes on.
Mm-hmm. And some light touching in a
light
van.
groping. Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's fine.
Then Jake sees Caleb being accosted by his toxic ex. This is the girl that dumped Caleb while he was like literally still in the hospital with his injury. So super bitch. And that's when Rachel decides to teach this Puck Bunny a lesson. And it's pretty fucking entertaining to read. Basically, she climbs on Caleb's lap, pretending not to even see his ex-girlfriend. And I feel like we've all been in that position when we're like, oh, I didn't see you there. Who are you again? What? And there are some like barbs traded back between the two women until like Rachel puts this woman firmly in her place and like ends up forcing her to leave. And Caleb is enjoying every single second of it. And Jake is like watching with his arms crossed and is jealous. But then like
she should be in my lap.
Right. But then like the three of them head towards the dance floor. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what is happening? And then we learn from Caleb's POV that he has been pining after Jake for a very long time, but will never admit it. The next thing we know, things are really heating up because we're in a storage closet at the club, which I'm like, how did you find a storage closet at a club that was unlocked? Yeah. And Rachel's like,
make out on the stairs.
Right.
That was your first thing where it's like, they're going down the stairs and she like pulls Jake and kisses him and then turns to Caleb and pulls him in too. And you're like, oh.
I'm like, what?
Oh. And then, yeah, they find the storage, which I'm like,
closet.
How?
And she's like,
what?
How? And she's like, I want both of you. And I'm like, okay.
Oh.
Okay. And then we learned that Caleb and Jake have shared girls in college before, but I have questions about that. And that Caleb likes to boss Jake around when they do and watch. So I also have questions about that. And then very quickly after, we learn that Caleb has a pierced cock with 4 rods and a barbells at the end. And we have questions about this. Right? Oh. And I was just like, we're not the only ones in this book that have questions about that. Yeah, so I was just like, okay, I think this is a Jacob's ladder. I think based on the description. Because we've went down this path before where we've done research.
Yes, we know. Google.
We know all the different things. And then this all leads to Jake fucking Rachel in this storage closet while she's sucking Caleb's cock.
A little Eiffel Tower action.
Correct. And I was just like, this is not what I think Poppy intended.
No. Which is ironic.
It is ironic.
You'll figure it out
for a lot of reason
when you read the next book.
It's also ironic because I'm just like, I have a lot of questions about, like, I don't know, Poppy, what was your intention there? And Rachel, how, once again, we are not dating anyone. We are just colleagues. And we went from the van ride where we were light grinding to fucking with our clothes on to actual fucking two guys at once.
Wow. That escalated quickly.
That escalated very quickly. It has not been 10 months. Has it been 10 days?
I don't think it's been 10 days. Yeah.
And we are here for it.
Yes, we are here for it. So when they are now in the Uber on the way back to the hotel, Jake wants to know, what does all of this mean? And same, we also would like to know, what does this mean? But he immediately assumes the worst, that Rachel only wants Caleb and doesn't want him. I'm like, oh, honey.
My heart just broke for him because I'm just like, you're like the sweetest, most wonderful guy.
You're the golden retriever. Of course we want you, baby. Like,
I know.
So, but Jake is in his own head, and it leads him to like get out of the Uber, and he's all pissed off. And the three of them end up having this like conversation like on the street. And that's when it finally comes out that Rachel is Jake's Seattle girl. And Caleb's just like, the fuck? He's like, I knew about the Seattle girl. Why didn't you tell me that was her? Like, why did I just now find out about this? Especially after he just face fucked her. You know, he's like, you let me face fuck Seattle girl in a closet? Like, what the fuck? Like, bah.
That is like a big jump, right? Because like Jake has acted like Seattle girl is like the one.
And his only. And like he shared.
Correct. With like no conversation.
Yeah, right? And then Jake is just assuming at this point that Rachel is ashamed of him because all it would take for them to be together is signing a little document. You know, it's like, he's like, I checked it out with Vicky, like on the first day that I saw you in the parking garage. And we're like,
I know, like, this is why I'm a Jake girl. I was just like,
he wastes no time. He's like, I know what I want and I'm going to do everything I can to get it. But it also comes out that staying away from Rachel is just unbearable for Jake. He's like, I can't do it. Like, if this is how it's going to be, like, then maybe I need to, like, trade teams or something. He's like, it's impacting my life. He's like, because I'm in love with you. He's in love with her. You're like,
what?
That went quickly as well. So then she's like, you know what? Let's go sit down. Let's go into this little diner and sit and chat about all this. Cup of coffee. Let's go. And that's when the truth about Rachel's history starts to come out because she's like, you guys haven't Googled me.
Googled me.
She's like, I'm worried about dragging you down with me, Jake. That's why I don't want this stuff. Breadcrumbs basically to what happens later in the book. And she finally shares who her dad is and how her entire family has literally been torn apart over the years by the press. Paparazzi is not her friend. And it was like especially hard on her twin brother when the press outed him as gay before he was even ready. And he almost ended up taking his life. And so Rachel is just like protective of her brother, protective of her family. And she was then hounded for like even worse things in her life. Like she does admit she's made a lot of bad choices. She's like, I've been in rehab more times than you can count, like before I was even like 16. So she's definitely turned her life around. I'm very happy for her on that. But she knows that like anyone attached to her publicly is eventually going to get hounded by the press because they just apparently love her family. Think like kind of like Ozzy Osbourne-esque, you know, where it's like if you see like one of the Osbournes out, like the paparazzi is going to be there and they're going to accost anybody that's near them. And she doesn't want that for them. She's like, I don't want to cost you everything that you've worked for in your life, like, and everything you've achieved, like, just to be with me.
When she was telling about like her history and stuff, I got major like Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan, Britney Spears from like the 2000s vibes around like, we were like, what were you doing? How did you crash a yacht?
Yeah. Like,
what?
Wait, what? You were drinking when you were how old?
Like 11? What?
Shit, son.
But Caleb is a great problem solver. He has a solution. Rachel moves in with Jake. And I was like, I once again need to understand logic. How is that a solution? And Jake will move in too, or Caleb will move in with Jake too. And Jake's like, yeah, I don't care as long as I get to spend more time with you. And Rachel's like, wait a second. Why do I need to move in with either one of you? And then they look at, like, they show her their schedules, making it clear like the only way to have a relationship with a pro hockey player while they're in season is to live with him. And I'm like, okay, that makes logical sense. I'm still struggling to understand like how it's a solution for like some other problems, but
Yeah.
we'll see. And Jake is like ecstatic about being able to see Rachel every day. So on the plane, Rachel is also growing attracted to Omari. Like it's growing. She's like, because he takes his suit jacket off and he has like just like a sleeveless shirt on. And she's like, "Can I see your back tattoo?" And he was like, "Wait, what? You want me to take my shirt, like my whole shirt off on the plane, like and get naked?" She's like, "Well, everyone else has seen you naked." I mean, you are
like,
not wrong.
No.
But also, no.
Yes.
And then she thinks like he's just being super weird towards her. And so she's just like, "Fuck it, I'm going to ruffle his feathers." And then like, talk about yourself. Why are you a loner? Why don't you participate in team group chats, dinners, etc.? And he was just like, all I thought in my head was, he's probably like, why is this woman sitting next to me? Like, maybe I should break my superstition.
Yeah, he's like,
So
but then he also has like an internal struggle because he's like, but I like her.
But she smells nice.
She smells nice.
She's pretty, right? And then she goes, "Well, you ask me questions or I'm going to move seats." And the superstition is strong enough where he's like, "Okay." And he's like, "What is the most effective way to treat a growing pool?" And I'm like, okay, that's a big deal for him to like ask that question, right? Because we know he's dealing with one. But then he plays it off like, "Oh, I'm asking because I've had one in the past." And I was like, dude, she's never going to let this go. But
I'm asking for a friend.
I'm asking for a friend. The friend is me. But I also think he might already know that. Like, I think he was very intentional. Like, he was trying to ask a question, see how she might respond, to see, like, can he trust her? That type of stuff, right?
Then she immediately demands to, like, she's like, "Well, I need to see your stretching routine once we're back in Jacksonville."
Like,
and
same.
then, like, yeah, yes, please. Oh, I've seen that stretching routine. It is fire. And
see, if you for research purposes only.
Research. It's just it's pure research. When your
I'll
man can do the splits, oh, good Lord, yes. And like start moving on the ice, you're like, just imagine yourself underneath that. And you're like, yes, please, sign me up.
For research.
For research. There's about to be a whole lot more puck bunnies going around here, I swear. and then she also starts asking like his questions about his pain. And then somehow she ends up jumping on him and like hugging him like a koala bear. And they both like it. And he finally starts to confess to her his fears of not being able to play hockey because hockey is everything to him. Like, hockey is life. Like, at this point, it's like nothing else matters. Hockey, hockey, hockey. And that's when medical lines start to blur a little bit because Rachel agrees to help him. She's like, "You know what? I get it. I'm going to help you stay on the ice as long as you do what I say." And ultimately, that ends up involving Dr. Hala, but Omari doesn't learn about that little aspect until a little while later, which, had he learned about it sooner, probably would have changed a lot of things.
Yeah.
We'll explain. So later that night, Caleb lets himself into Rachel's apartment because he's worried that she's perhaps changed her mind about moving in with him and Jake. And it's one of the first times that we see him show any kind of vulnerability towards her. And he's like, "I'll bow out if you need. Like, if you just want it to be you and Jake, like, take me out of the picture, basically." And she calls him on that bullshit. She's like, "No, you're just being a scared little baby bitch. Like, shut up." And then she makes it clear that she likes to be shared. And that now she is both Jake's girl and Caleb's girl. And that leads to some incredibly hot sex in the kitchen. And let's just say that Rachel loves the feeling of his piercings. She's like, "Fuck yes, I love this." And he does too.
He does too. Well, so then Rachel and Caleb get to Jake's house and he immediately is like, "You've had sex." And I'm like, once again, how do you know that?
You had sex, didn't you? I know, I can smell it.
Right? Well, maybe you could.
Probably.
We don't know.
Did they shower?
I don't know. Maybe together? We didn't read it. But he's slightly jealous because I love this, and I know you're a Twilight girl, so you probably did too. How's a guy supposed to compete with a surfing, sun-kissed Edward Cullen? And I was like...
With cock piercings.
With cock piercings, right? And he's smart. So Jake's answer to this problem of Rachel being fucked with Caleb's pierced cock is to take her upstairs and show her what an all-natural man can accomplish. And I was just like, holy shit, thank you. But first,
Yes.
he has to have a talk with her, like wanting to make sure like they do everything above the board. Like he fires her as his doctor. The two of them are going to sign all this paperwork with Vicky. And then he has like a freak out moment because the kitchen sex with Caleb was possessive, aggressive. There was a little rough. There was probably no need to scream harder because it couldn't have been harder. So she has bruises on her hips from Caleb fucking her against the counter earlier. And he's
But we liked him.
We liked it. It was like it was well, she
Hurt
did
me
a
so
lot,
good.
right? Exactly. And he is about ready to kill Caleb. And Rachel's like, I love this about her because like she knows how to bring him back. She was like, I cried outside the hotel room in Seattle after I left. I purposely left both like room keys in the room so I couldn't get back in. I've been missing you this entire time. And like immediately it just like he's like, what about Caleb? Like, whew, back
Caleb
in there. And then we get an extremely hot shower sex scene where Jake goes down on Rachel and then she rides him. And you know we love shower sex. There's a lot of great shower sex in this book.
Oh, so good. Just like love it.
Yes. But then we have the stupid idea of Jake's, which is like the only thing I didn't like about him in this book, where he's like, I get where he was coming from. He's like, let's create a game between him and Caleb to earn points anytime Rachel is PDA with them, since she's been very clear that that's off the table. They'll get like a point for kissing, 5 points for a hand job, 10 points for a blowjob, 50 points for sex in a public place. And Caleb's like, this is a horrible idea. I agree with Caleb. He's like, Rachel is not a prize to be won. And Jake is like, yeah, but like this could wear her down and get her to be like more open with their relationship. He is like ready to marry her. Like if she would agree to marry him, he would like, he's made comments about like, I would hire an Elvis impersonator like right now, like done.
And she's like, don't you dare.
Right? Don't you spring a wedding on me. But
don't spring an Elvis on me.
Exactly, right? The situation escalates because Jake and Caleb are competitive. They're professional athletes, or at least Caleb was and Jake still is. And Jake's like, I bet you 10K that Rachel will be in my bed tonight, and then makes a shitty comment about how Caleb doesn't have the money. And that's like, whew, not great.
Too far.
And that's when the truth comes out about how like Jake is really afraid of losing like Rachel to Caleb, but I think also like his friendship with Caleb too. And Caleb is also trying to figure out like what intimacy can look like between him and Rachel, because like he shares, right? Like Jake, you've already had this like kismet moment with Rachel in Seattle. Like you're twins. Like you guys are so connected at this weird level that you finish each other's sentences. I'm trying to figure out like where I fit. And then Caleb agrees to let Jake's shitty comments go, but indicates there will be payback. And one of the things that I really like about Caleb's character is that, like, you're going to fuck around, you're going to find out.
He's silent but deadly.
Yes. And
in the best ways. Yes.
I know.
And apparently, this is going to come in the form of a karaoke night at Riptide's Bar and Grill. So apparently, a lot of the players from the team are there. And Caleb ends up signing up and playing the guitar and singing a song dedicated to Rachel. And Jake is like, oh, fuck, I'm screwed. And honestly, like, if you're dying to learn what happens after he gets off the stage, then definitely check out Pucking Ever After Volume 2. Let's just say that Caleb earns 20 points that night. Go team. Go, buddy.
Yeah.
And so then at the charity gala that they all have to attend later, Rachel comes across Ilmari bidding $500,000 to a turtle nonprofit. And she's like, what? And he's just like, I do what I can. I have to help. He's like, I'm a hockey player. And what I do for work flying all over the world, like, it's bad for the environment. So this is my way of giving back, you know? And I'm like,
that's really sweet. But do you like turtles?
Yeah, it's like, do you even like turtles? Like, why turtles? He's
like,
I
think it's because it was there. Like, why not?
If it was baby seals, he would have done it for baby seals. You know, if it was for starfish, he would have done it for starfish. And he's just a good guy.
Turtles are awesome.
They are, truly.
Yeah.
And he just wants to give back, you know, and he's like, he plans to fund them further if he ends up liking the business model. That comes along later too, breadcrumbs for book 2. And then Rachel confronts Jake about the argument that he had with Caleb. And she is pissed. And she does not want them fighting over her. And this leads to Jake and Rachel then having sex in the stairway during the party. 50 points for Jake. Haha. But the next morning, Rachel says, I love you to him. And all is well.
All is well. All right, so game night, we get a really hilarious scene where like all the players have been stealing Rachel's athletic tape, and Caleb like walks around in the locker room and gets it all back from her, and then like threatens them.
Yep.
But things get a little bit more serious when she realizes that Omari is hurt and benches him for the rest of the game in the next one. And then out of legitimately nowhere, he kisses her. And she kisses him back, and it shocks her. And then she like kind of pushes him away and pretends like she didn't like it. I'm like, dude, you've been lusting after him for a while, girl. Like you did like it. But also, that was out of nowhere. And then after the game, because they've lost, Caleb and Rachel show up at Jake's hotel room to cheer him up with cookie sandwiches. That's a great way to cheer someone up. Like he's got a
Jake
sweet
loves
tooth.
ice cream.
Right? I would love this. And then, and she brought her purple tentacle dildo. And I was like, once again, we have some serious questions about this one, starting with where did you buy it?
Is it on Amazon? Is it on lovers.com? Where can I find this?
Where did you find this? And things get really hot because then Rachel goes down on Jake. He returns the favor. Then Caleb goes down on her. And at this point, I'm like, can you die from having too many orgasms? Is that possible? And then they use the tentacle dildo on her. And I'm like, what? Okay. And then my head is like about to explode. Then Rachel sits on Caleb's cock, and then somehow Jake puts his penis in her too. I did not know you could put two penises in a vagina, like that was possible. No, it wasn't.
Wait.
Yes. Oh, did you not get this? Yes. Okay,
Wait,
Megan,
no.
this is yeah. It's called DVP, double vaginal penetration. I went down a rabbit hole on Reddit because I didn't know this was a thing. Yes.
See my face just now?
Yes, you didn't know. Okay. Because
I legit thought this whole time, wait.
No. There are multiple times where this happens.
Oh, wait, I know what double penetration is, but DVP,
this is
double vaginal.
Correct. I didn't know you could do this.
I'm like clenching right now. Like, whoa, that's a lot of stretching. Did she stretch beforehand?
Well, I mean, maybe that's what the purple tentacle dildo is for. I don't know.
And then you got that in there too. I'm like, God damn.
So this is a real thing, and there's physics involved with like that's why she had to sit a certain way and like lean a certain way, and yeah,
Where are my props?
So apparently it is in fact a real thing. And it's also why she makes the comment, I think later in the book, where Amari calls them like DVPs, and she like laughs at him. He goes like, no, you mean DLPs. And he goes, is DVP a sexual reference? And she goes, yeah. It's a real thing. Like you can do it with two guys or like one guy and a dildo. Or two dildos. Like I was just like, I did not know this was a thing that was like physically possible.
How much porn did you get when you were on your like Reddit? Like
0, because I just went to I just Googled it and I typed in Reddit.
Oh.
And then
like there would still get like images.
No.
See, now I want to see it. Now I'm like,
oh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to see it, but I was just like, is this a real thing?
I'm a visual learner, okay? I need to see things to understand.
There are Reddit threads that explain like different positions.
Yes, I need to see the positions. That's what I mean. I'm like, it's for education, sex education. I need to know what's going on.
Basically, the way, for those of you interested, what I learned from my Reddit threads and deep dive, by no means have experienced this, nor am I an expert on this, but I have read a Reddit thread or two on the topic because I was like, what is this? So apparently, there's a guy on the bottom. The girl is typically like riding him, and then she either is facing him and like leans forward, so like her chest is touching him.
And he has to then like straddle the other one.
And then he goes and correct. Or she could be like reverse cowgirl and lean back and do it. But that's how it works. And ideally, the guy with the smaller
That'd be
penis is
hard.
on the bottom.
Oh, poor Jake.
I don't know. No, she was on Caleb's cock.
Oh.
But I think that was because he had the piercings, right? And I feel like those would need to probably be in first.
But he's probably,
I don't
so
know.
then whoever's going to behind probably isn't going all the way to the hilt because, like,
This book described it as they did. I don't know if that's, Megan, I don't know how this works, but I also don't
they are very
how,
bendy. They're very stretchy, you know.
right? And you can't birth a baby out of a vagina. So, like, I mean, I can understand how it could stretch.
It can.
It's the same question I have with, like, when a book says he had a 10-inch monster cock, and I'm like, how does that work? The same way this works.
I have a different water bottle this time.
Okay, is that supposed to be Amari?
This is Amari. This is Amari's.
Right?
Colta.
Yeah. So, but this is a real thing. I think I told you when we were talking about this book, I was like, there was a point where I literally had to Google something because I didn't know what it was.
Yes.
Like, I didn't know it was a thing. And you learn something new every day.
Today we learned in class what a DVP is. You are welcome.
You're welcome.
This conversation is NSFW.
1,000%.
Our podcast is NSFW. Let's be real.
Yes.
Okay. So now that we've learned this physics lesson, next, Rachel tries to convince Ilmari to go hang out with the team at the beach. And he's like, okay, I'll come. So he shows up. And we also get to see Tess, who wants all of the details right away about Rachel's steamy love life. She's like, tell me what's going on. Tell me about these three-way hand jobs. Tell me about the DVP. What is happening? Which, based on the description, was very tame for the book. And we're not even counting the descriptions like as like a spicy chapter. Like, it's just, Tess makes it clear that both of these men are crazy for Rachel. And Rachel then talks about like, oh, I wonder if we could all be like happy long term. Like, I don't know, like there's so much drama in my life. And this is also a fun little scene where Ryan Langley gets to meet Tess for the very first time. And he's clearly smitten. Accidentally hits her in the head with a soccer ball, but you know, he's in love. And their story is continued in Fucking Wild. So then Ilmari shows up to the beach because again, he's like, ooh, her in a bathing suit. I guess I'll come check it out. Okay. And Tess is very confident that he is also into Rachel. She's like, I see this. This is happening. And even Caleb seems to pick up on it. He's like, Amari does not come out for anyone. And clearly he's into something. And then Rachel's just like excited as she finally gets to see his back tattoo, which is like amazing. Like full, like kind of like a raven's wings. And it has like Finnish folklore stories like weaved into it. And it's so cool. I'm like drooling over this idea. I'm a big tattoo girl. And it is obvious he is so into Rachel. Like, it's clear. And
to everyone but Rachel.
Yeah, right. But then she's like, hey, you know what? I have an idea. Let's go into Cincinnati and meet with my, you know, advisor and get you some scans and keep it on the down low. We won't tell anyone. Like, please just trust me. And shockingly, he agrees to go. And then he apologizes for their kiss. And she's just like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. We're all good.
But then things get a little interesting when Jake and Caleb find out Rachel's going to Cincinnati with Amari. And Jake's immediate reaction is, oh my God, his injury is really bad. This is going to impact the team. Like a very normal reaction, I would think, right?
Yeah.
And Caleb's like, are you fucking him? And I'm like, what? Or like, do you want to fuck him? Because he definitely wants to fuck you. And I'm like, what? And then he's like, yeah, Jake and I talk about it all the time. And Rachel's like, what? No, I'm trying to help him get scans that won't go into his official like NHL record, which then like, they're like, hold on a second. Jake is like, kind of like, I think the rational one, like that could get you in serious trouble and go against policy, which is a definite breadcrumb for what happens later. And then they seem to understand her reason for wanting to help him, right? But it doesn't address the other issue, which is that they strongly believe that Amari wants to fuck her with his Viking cock, which we learned that he has a very large cock. Like water bottle size, apparently, which we also have a lot of questions about. And they keep pushing her on it.
I mean, if you can do a DVP, you can do that, right? It's like,
I don't know, Megan. I don't think you can.
That's probably like 3. Well, I don't know.
That I Well,
A
they
lot of
keep pushing her
questions.
on it, and she confesses like she doesn't know what she wants, which enters into this concept of sudden death in the kitchen, which I do really love, right? And Rachel admits that Amari kissed her and then he apologized. And now she's like, but now that you guys are all saying that he likes me, she's like, I wonder if he meant to do it. And I'm like, girl, get a picture. Yes, he did.
Did.
And then Caleb wants to know if the three-way is going to turn into a four-way because like him and Jake would like to have a say in that. And then Jake's like, what will happen to our relationships if you and Elmari get together? And then Jake is like, I like sharing you with Caleb. It's the best sex he's ever had. And I'm like, okay. But then she pushes Caleb on holding back and not admitting that he loves her. And I'm like, it's been how many days?
Yeah.
Feels very fast, right? But then he finally like admits that he does love her. He's like, yeah, you know I do, but he won't like actually say the words. And then Caleb takes over and it gets really fucking hot because he apparently is a dom and starts telling everyone what to do. And I was like, oh my God. So Caleb has Rachel go down on Jake. Then he has Jake finger fuck Rachel. And then out of nowhere, it feels like Jake is going down on Caleb after getting a few pointers from Rachel. And this is like a first time he's ever done anything with a guy. And then followed by like Rachel giving Jake one. And then Caleb admits that he loves them both. And I'm like, a lot has just, I'm like, in the span of this sudden death, it's like they've agreed that like Rachel can fuck Amari. Caleb and Jake do something sexually together that doesn't really involve Rachel. I mean, she's present. And Jake is with a guy for the first time. That's like a lot in one kitchen scene.
That's a lot. What's kind of precious about the whole Jake and Caleb thing, Caleb is worried that like Jake isn't going to want to do this. That like it's just like he only wants to fuck Rachel and like doesn't want to do anything sexually with Caleb. And then you get this sweet moment where Jake is just like, I just don't want to do it wrong.
I know.
You know, he's like,
this is why I love him.
Yeah, he's like, I want to make you feel good. He's like, I don't want you to be mad at me if I do it wrong. And you're like,
I know.
Sweetheart. So it's really sweet. So then we're on the flight now to Cincinnati, the nasty natty. And Rachel has booked Elmari a first class seat, given his size. Yeah, big hockey dude, big hockey Viking. He needs more space, obviously. But that means that she is back in coach. And he cannot stand knowing that. He's like, nope, I want you sitting with me. So he takes the seat next to hers and sends that other person that was supposed to sit there up to first class to his old seat. And the whole time he's back there, he is just holding her hand and just like, so sweet. So a gentle giant, if you will.
Yes.
And then Rachel decides, she's like, I need to be honest with you, and tells him that she is with Jake and Caleb. And he was not expecting that. He was like, wait, what?
I think his head exploded.
His head exploded. And, you know, he's finished. So he's like used to like everything being like, you know, a little bit out of the norm, if you will. But he was very much like not expecting that.
No.
And he's like, okay, our professional relationship is going to end when we are back in Jacksonville. He's like, I do not want to share. He's like, I will not share what is mine. And so whatever we have started here is done. We are over. And we are no longer even like professional. Oh, how things change. So we get to Cincinnati. And there is a real shocking moment. They walk up, they go to meet Dr. Hala, and holy shit, did not see this one coming. Elmari freaks the fuck out because Dr. Hala is his biological father.
I was shocked.
What?
I know.
What? Oh, wait, and also Rachel's like, what? And Elmari's like, fuck you. Like, he's pissed. It turns out Dr. Hala didn't raise Elmari, and that his parents got a divorce, like very nasty divorce when he was younger, and they have had zero relationship at all. Meaning that Dr. Hala apparently used Rachel to get Elmari to Cincinnati to try and like rebuild a relationship with his son. But he's like, oh yeah, I want to have scans. He's like, but I also need to have a dinner. You promised me that I could get a dinner. And Rachel's just like, what the fuck? Like, did you really just like use me? Because she already felt very protective of Elmari, but now like this is like another level. She's just like, fuck you. And she even uses that like term that
ski into a cunt.
Yeah. Ski into a cut, which I know kind of the Russian version of that is "Tebya pizda," which means like "fuck your cunt" in a way, in Russian. That's all I know. I don't know the Finnish. So basically, Rachel now is chasing after Ilmari and tells him, like, listen, it is up to you if you want to go back there and get the scans or not. Like, I don't care. Like, and his response is, kiss me and I will go get the scans. And she's like,
Okay.
Really? Okay. So it's like a movie moment, like dropping all of her stuff, running up to him, and he picks her up in the arms, and it's a hot fucking sexy kiss. And just like, oh, good Lord, honey, you are in trouble. Because this is only getting started. It is so sexy. And like people like hooting and hollering, like, woo. I mean, why not?
Why not?
So that means he has to go get the scans done. After the exams and the scans, Ilmari is diagnosed with just a small tear in his labrum, which shouldn't require any surgery. And Dr. Hala is just going to do like a little cortisone injection to help it heal. And it's just like, okay, just like stay off the ice for a little bit, like rest, do the rice treatment, basically.
So then the three of them have dinner together, and there is like clear tension. The money that Amari used to donate for the turtles was actually a gift from Dr. Hall that he had sent him when he got into Jacksonville. So I understand maybe why he was just like, don't need it. Turtles do.
Yep.
We also learned that his mother died 13 years ago when he was like 17. The Dr. Hall left his mother, but did send double the amount of money required to them every month. So he really, it's hard in this situation because like Dr. Hall, I think, was trying to help take care of Amari, but like, I think the divorce was so brutal. It's hard when you're a child in that situation to see the point of view of another parent that you're not living with, to be honest. So then Dr. Hollow questions whether or not Amari will treat Rachel the same way if she disappoints him. And I'm like, ouch. And he encourages them not to do so. But after dinner, Amari and Rachel head back to his hotel. She is planning to grab her bag that she dropped off there and go to her old apartment with Tess for the night. That is not what ends up happening. Thank God. She stays with him, and all we can say is holy fuck. Not only does he have a monster cock that is apparently the size of a water bottle and promises not to be gentle and that it will be a claiming, but he has no refractory period. He can orgasm and then go again and again. So like,
And
he
again,
fucked
this guy's
again,
a fucking god.
like literally
A Viking god.
I have a lot of questions. We're going to talk more about this in the Hot and Steamy because, like, a lot of questions. So afterwards, Rachel talks to him about what this means because she's like, I want to be with you, but I'm also with Caleb and Jake. And surprisingly, and I'm thinking this is the same day, like they flew to Cincinnati. He's like, I don't share. To now he's like, I want to understand what it is and how I fit in. I was just like, what? Whew. Maybe Rachel is really good in bed. And she's also just like a really great person too, I think, as well. Like she seems to get them all so like emotionally deep. So I think that helps with it too.
What was it that Jake called her one time? She had pussy nip? Like catnip.
Probably. I mean, she probably does.
I mean, it's like a drug apparently. These guys can't get enough of it.
So, but like Amari's like, well, how will I fit in? She's like, well, Caleb and Jake like share me sexually and may eventually just sexually be the two of them sometimes. And he's like, I'm not interested in doing anything sexually with either of them without you. And I was like, famous last words. You're going to want to read Pucking Ever After Volume 2 to see how that perspective changed, Amari. Yeah. Oh boy. Okay.
So now we're back in Jacksonville. And Rachel comes home with Ilmari in tow, and they actually talk about what this means for all of them. So obviously Jake has the most feelings about the situation and expresses them first. He's like, what is going on? And then he's also like, you know what? If you want in, Ilmari, you have to try harder. You have to be a part of the team. You have to let everyone see your personality. You have to talk to us. You have to join. Like, and
you have to respond in emojis to like chats.
Yeah, he's like, just do something. He's like, I don't care. Just like take an interest. And Ilmari takes a small little step by sharing that he doesn't like red meat. And he prefers reading. And he has a labral tear. And okay, now Jake is like getting serious nut business because he's like, listen, I'm your defenseman. And like, you need to tell me these things so that I can protect you on the ice. He's like, if you're hurting on a certain side, like, let me know and I can help like defend that side harder so that you don't hurt yourself. Like, this is just strategy at that point. And he's like, this means no more secrets between the four of us, guys. And Jake demands that Ilmari either get all the way in or get all the way the fuck out. So kind of like another like sudden death moment.
Yeah.
And then Caleb decides to just take one for the team right there and see if Ilmari is really into sharing Rachel with them. And he starts, getting hot and steady and sexy with Rachel. Leads to a spicy scene in the kitchen where Caleb has Rachel give him a blowjob while Ilmari watches. And Amari's very interested in this pierced dick. He's like, what is that? What did you do? He has questions. He's like, did this hurt? Like, let me see. And he's even like touching it at one point because he's just so curious about it. Like he's never seen it in person. Cue Jake walking in at the wrong moment. And he's just like,
or the right moment. Just depends.
Or the right moment. But he's just like, what the fuck is going on in here? Because someone else is touching Caleb's cock. And he's just like very jealous.
Yes.
And that finally leads Jake to admitting that he wants Caleb. Yay.
I love that.
Finally. And this leads to Jake giving Caleb a blowjob by himself. And then Rachel gives Ilmari one. And this is all happening in the kitchen. So I'm also just like, we're going to clean this shit, right? Like, we're going to bleach every surface and everything after this, like, double blowjob session. Because, like, as sexy as it is, we also need to be clean. Like, come on.
Yes.
This is where food goes.
Correct. So later, Rachel's at Amari's house, and they've been having sex for hours because this man is nonstop.
Oh.
Like, do you know that song in Hamilton where, like, the man is nonstop? Like, that's what was playing in my mind. But instead of about writing nonstop, it was just about fucking nonstop.
Fucking nonstop.
Like, it is so much sex that Rachel's pussy needs a break. So she ends up letting him fuck her tits. And I was just like, how much sex do you, how much sex is that you can't take more? It's a lot. So
72-hour fuck fest in a different way.
Yes, but in detail.
Mm-hmm. Yes, please.
So we also see them have like an in-depth conversation about his back tattoo, his mom's death, and the man whose last name he took once he started playing hockey professionally. They end up also talking about Dr. Hala and how he's been reaching out to Rachel for a medical update. Amari like doesn't want to forgive him for leaving, while Rachel is just like, it's hurting you to hate him, which I don't think a lot of people realize is that like oftentimes when you hate someone, especially that has this type of like deep rooted trauma, it actually hurts you to have feelings of hate and not be like, let it go and go past it. So then Caleb and Jake show up at Amari's house because he's there with Rachel and they want to be together. So, and they just bring over like film.
Amari's like, how did you get my address? Like, why are you at
Rachel.
My place? Rachel, duh. We're a team. All in
we're
or
team.
all out, buddy.
Yeah. They brought over like film tapes. And then we learned about Jake's ridiculous but accurate superpower for picking out ice cream flavors for people. And this is also when Rachel starts to realize like she wants Amari to like want the four of them together as a family. And I was just like, oh, I love this book.
So good. So then Rachel and Tess have a phone call to discuss how Amari is in the mix now. And
can you imagine like you're calling your best friend? So I know you met the two guys. Remember the third guy that I said like wasn't into me that you thought was into me? He's been into me a lot.
He's been into me every which way. He's been in me. He's been on me. He's been through me.
Yeah.
But Tess is just like, yeah, I fucking knew it. Like, duh. But now she calls Rachel out on basically in the past when she's had relationships, she always bolts when things start to get too public. And at some point she's like, these things are going to become public with these guys. I mean, two of them are professional hockey players. Like, you're not going to be able to avoid this. And Rachel really worries about like what that means for all of their careers. And Tess makes it clear that like each of them choosing this life is like choosing this with her. Like, they're big boys, they're adults, they know what they're doing. You need to let them make that decision and then carry on. So that then leads into a big relationship talk when the four of them are at the beach together. They talk about kids, they talk about marriage. And because Rachel is worried that they won't stick when everyone finds out about them, she's just like explaining all of this to them. And nothing really seems to get like super resolved except that Jake declares he would definitely marry Rachel tomorrow and have kids with her anytime. He's like, where's my Elvis impersonator? Let's go. Like, You want twins? We got a double set going on here. Like, let's get it going.
Like, I got you.
Yeah. And basically, Caleb is like, oh, I don't know about kids. And Omari's like, yeah, sure, whatever. He's like, yes. He has a breeding kink. So he's very much like,
he does.
Yes, I want kids. And so then after the beach, after this whole combo, Rachel and Caleb are in the shower together. And she's pushing him to tell Jake that he is in love with him. She's like, you guys have been together for so long. Like, you're DLPs. Like, you should tell the truth. Yeah. And she's also then decided it's a good time to start pushing Elmari's buttons and see how he's doing with everything. So she calls out to him while Caleb is going down on her in the shower. And Elmari just bursts in and like rips Caleb off of her. And he's just like, this is mine. And he's in his clothes, by the way. But then he's like trying to like go all like primal on her basically and gets naked and starts fucking Rachel while Caleb then joins and fucks her in the ass. But this ends up being a very big turning point because this means Elmari is now finally okay with sharing Rachel physically, and Caleb makes it clear that Elmari's place is with them now. And also, because Caleb is joining, Elmari's like, oh shit, I can feel your piercings. This is crazy. It's actually not bad.
He liked it.
He liked it. He was like, okay. I wasn't sure about this, but okay.
Okay, right. I understand the appeal now.
Yes. He won't get them. He doesn't want them. He's
no.
like, you have them for everyone. You're good.
You're good. Next, Jake is desperate to find Rachel after winning a home game, which leads to sex in the storage closet while he has her hold on to a hockey goal. And Elmari like just happens to stumble in. Which leads to then like Rachel giving him a blowjob. And then he warns Jake, which I really loved, that if he fucks Rachel again against one of his nuts again, he'll cut off his cock. And I was like, turns out goalies are very territorial about their nuts regardless of where they are.
Yes, they are.
So, but one of the most entertaining moments in this book was when Rachel has the night off and she gets to actually sit in the stands to watch the game. And it's Omari's first night back on the ice. She's wearing his jersey, and Caleb, who also has the night off, is wearing Jake's jersey. And Caleb knows that Rachel wearing Elmari's jersey will both motivate Elmari and Jake to play their best games tonight. And Caleb decides, let's poke the bear and make sure that Jake sees Rachel wearing his jersey. And I mean, Jake's anger level has escalated. He's taking it out on the other team.
He like skates right up to him and goes, you take that off right now.
Like banging on the glass, right? Like there's a scene being made.
Yeah.
And then Rachel decides, let's poke both bears, because Omari has liked her wearing his jersey, right? Mm-hmm. By having her and Caleb swap jerseys at the end of the night. And then like they even wear their badges into like the press briefing so like Jake and Omari can see them in the swap jerseys. So after the game, Jake is livid. He's like, and he doesn't really get mad very often, but he's livid. He's ready to both punish both Caleb and Rachel. And then Elmari is like, kind of like, this is the first time you really see him in his head about like where he fits with the group. And like, he's worried about being left out. And so Jake's like, give me a ride. I'm too upset. I can't, drive. And so Omari's just like thinking he's driving Jake home to drop him off. But on the way home, Caleb video calls him and shows Rachel tied to the bed. And I'm just like, talk about teasing the two of them. Which then leads to Elmari and Jake having a very honest conversation about where like Elmari fits in. And Jake was the right person, I think, for him to have that conversation with. Because Jake's like, I fucking asked you to move in on day one. What are you talking about? Like you are, like, we're all waiting for you. But my favorite part is when they're like, Caleb's going to fucking pay for this. I mean, they're angry at Rachel, but they're really angry at Caleb.
Because Caleb knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing.
He knew they were going to like see red.
Yes.
And so then Jake and Elmari get home and they walk in on literally the door bursts open and like Jake is screaming, Caleb! And like runs upstairs to find Caleb going down on Rachel, who is blindfolded.
In Jake's bed.
In Jake's bed. Oh. But apparently that's the most comfortable bed, so let's be real.
Yeah.
But she's blindfolded, tied to the bed. Jake pulls Caleb off of her, and like him and Elmari just like hold him down and like tie him to the dresser, blindfold him, and stuff a sock in his mouth because they're just like, this motherfucker likes to watch and he likes to talk. We're gonna make that he can't do either of those things while we take care of Rachel. So then Jake fucks Rachel. Then Ilmari fucks Rachel. Then Caleb, they eventually let him go, goes down on Rachel for like a minute. However, the room basically starts to kind of like catch on fire in a way, like of sexual tension, when Rachel is riding Ilmari while Caleb fucks her in the ass. And then Jake comes in and fucks Caleb's ass. And you're just like,
all at the same time.
all at the same time. Because again, Amari's made it very clear. He's like, I will only fuck Rachel. I will not fuck you two boys. He's like, no, I draw the line there. And they're like, fair enough. They're like, but can we fuck each other and her at the same time while she's fucking you? And he's like, okay. So yeah, it's like, okay, he's laying down. Rachel's, this way. In comes Caleb, and then in comes Jake. So like when Jake thrusts forward, he pushes Caleb. Caleb's pushing Rachel further into Ilmari, and Ilmari's just like hanging out like a Viking king. Whew. I don't even know what that's called. I don't know what position that is, but
holy shit,
a position is what it's called, I guess. And then afterwards, they're all just like sexed out, except Rachel does eventually tell them, by the way, Ilmari has no refractory period. And honestly, Caleb and Jacob are like so pissed and jealous at the same time. They're like, that's not fair. He's a sex god and he can go and go and go. And she's like, yeah, I know. So then afterwards, when they're sexed out, they basically like pull all the mattresses onto the floor so that they can all sleep together. But by sleeping together, it's like Jake, Caleb, Rachel, Ilmari.
And the dog.
And the dog, yes, Poseidon does come in too and it's like sleeps with her feet. But then later, things get a little chaotic because gossip has started to spread about the four of them, thanks to that jersey scene at the game. Thank you, Caleb. The rumor mill is suggesting that Rachel was with Jake, but now is spiting Jake and like left him, and she's now with Caleb, or she's with Ilmari. People don't know. Poppy has now gone into full panic mode. She's like, what is the story I'm trying to like spin here? Like, what's going on? Who's with who? And Rachel tries to play off the whole jersey situation as like, it's just a joke between colleagues, like nothing more, it's fine. But Rachel is spiraling. She's like, oh fuck. She's like, I know the press is going to take a story like this and like spin it like 6 ways to Sunday. Like it's going to be bad. So she finally calls her twin brother, Harrison, whom she's been avoiding for weeks. And it's like, it's time to bring in the Price family.
Yep. So Caleb also gets asked by Novi and Morrow if there's anything that he wants to tell them about him and Jake, because there's a bunch of chatter among other teams about the two of them being in a relationship, especially like with the jersey scene. Caleb plays it off as like nothing too. He's like deflecting for Rachel and Jake's sake, but they make it clear, like if there is something going on, like we would be supportive and we would shut down that shit with like all the gossip. And then we have another entertaining moment. And I love that, right? When the guys hear that Rachel is hanging out with another man in the facility who is Harrison, but they don't know that. Yeah. And so they're like, Caleb's like on a mission. She's with some hot man with tattoos. And Mari's like, could that be you? He's like, no, it couldn't be me. I'm right here. Yeah. So
like, we can't add another guy to the group chat. We can't do it.
Yeah. So turns out her dad sent Harrison to go check on her because his PR team is trying to handle the story. And that's where we start to learn about the Price family first motto. Needless to say, Harrison is a bit surprised that Rachel is in love with 3 men, but he's super supportive. And thankfully, like the 3 guys calm down once they realize Harrison is her brother, not another man chasing after her.
Yeah, it's like he's the twin. Like he's fine.
And You're Jake got that like right away. He was like, "Oh, you do look like if Rachel was a man."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But then, unfortunately, Rachel starts to spiral a bit and suggests that Ilmari go get some distance from her since he hasn't been implicated yet in any of this. But he refuses and makes it clear. He's like, the 3 of us would brave any danger for her in public and they will protect her no matter the cost.
Sweethearts. I love that. I know.
And so this leads them to a vote. Like, all right, we're going to vote right now. Are we going to go public? And they agree. They say, okay, you know what? After tomorrow's game, when the Finnish scouts have come and gone, and apparently it's like a big game too. It's like the Finnish scouts are going to be there. It's against Toronto, which is basically like the team and has the player who hurt Caleb and like is the whole reason why Caleb can't play anymore. So it's like a big, big game for everybody because like also like posts are going to go public. So a lot of tension in the air. But before this game happens, Jake calls his twin sister, Amy, who lives in Japan, and tells her about his relationship with all three of them. And she is super supportive. She's also just kind of like, it's about damn time. Like, come on, you and Caleb, let's be real, bro.
Yeah.
And then she helps Jake learn some new polyamory terms, such as a metamor, which he cannot remember. He keeps calling it a metaphor. And we're like, dude, you're so
I do
pretty.
love that though. Like,
he's like, you're my metaphor. You're my metaphor.
He's trying
like,
so hard, right?
Yeah. He's proud. He's
proud. I love it.
But she's like, metamor. And he's like,
different,
learning new things every day. And we're like, same, Jake. Same. I'm also learning new things. And then Jake admits that he's nervous about Caleb and whether or not Caleb is in love with him. And Amy's like, yeah, no, he is, you idiot. Like, we all know this. We all know that Caleb loves you and that you love Caleb. Like, shut up and get over yourself. So we all know that truth. And now it's game time. And Jake is quiet, which is not usual for him.
No.
And he is just like not acting like himself. He's very off. And Amari and Rachel are starting to worry about him. And then when another player during the game crashes into Amari, Jake loses his shit and like drops gloves and starts punching, beating the crap out of the other player. Because again, rule number 1 in hockey, you don't fuck with the goalie. You just don't. Like, no. My husband was a goalie and somebody fucked with him. I wanted to go down there and beat their ass. Like, you do not mess with the goalie. It's not cool. So basically, he's beating the shit out of this guy. Doesn't help that it was also that same guy, like we said, who happened to end Caleb's career, which is just like messing with Jake's head and he's going nuts. And Jake gets thrown out of the game. And Amari's like, he gives him a thumbs up, like, I'm good, man. Like, don't worry.
Like,
which
I'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm okay.
So then later, right, after Jake gets thrown out of the game, Caleb and Jake are in a like medical room and they end up kissing for the first time. And then Jake finally confesses how much he wants Caleb. Like, it's really sweet. Caleb starts to give Jake a hand job. There's like kind of a really entertaining scene of like, Jake's like, he's still in his hockey uniform and Caleb's like, I know how to do this. Yeah. But then like another employee kind of comes into the room who's a big gossip. So everyone's going to know about them shortly. Jake has no problem with it. And he makes this comment about like how he wants to love Caleb out loud. And I love that. I love that so much. And it's one of the things I love about this book is everyone, like at the end of the day, the book is all about being who you are authentically and not worrying about what other people think. And I think that's such an incredible life lesson. So exactly. After the game, Amari learns he's made it on the Finnish Olympic team. He tells them about his relationship, how it's going to come out. And they're like, okay. Because Europeans are much more understanding of loving more than one person than Americans tend to be. And then Amari tells Rachel the news. She's ecstatic. They end up kissing and fucking Dr. Avery walks in. He's a real asshole throughout this whole book. He makes a lot of inappropriate comments to Rachel. And that ultimately ends up with all 4 of them in the coach's office talking about their relationship with like the coach, Poppy, and Vicky too. And the first order of business is the coach wants them to stop fucking in the goddamn barn. Which
the barn I don't is what think you call your home. Yeah.
I don't think they ever do follow that rule.
No, they never follow that rule.
They don't follow the rule. But the bigger issue is that Rachel is a doctor and she's been actively treating Amari, which is unethical. And that's when the guys start talking about how Dr. Avery is a problem and how all the players actively avoid him, which no one has really brought up to the coach or the GM. And it doesn't really help that like Rachel took Amari to Cincinnati either. So like the coach has like no record of any of this. So his recommendation
about
which he should be, right? Like I get that.
Yeah, it's like my player is injured and you didn't tell me. Like, what the fuck?
Correct. So the coach's recommendation is for Rachel to be fired, but ultimately the decision will be up to the GM. And until then, she's suspended, which is really hard on her, right?
But it's fair. Like
it is a really fair. I mean, she broke a lot of rules.
Yeah.
I mean, I see why she did it, but
yes. And at the end of the day, like they don't really care. They're just like, okay, I don't give a shit that you're dating, each other, but you broke the rules in the process. Like, that's what we care about. Like, that you didn't tell anyone. Should have done that. So then back home, Rachel packs up her clothes to leave because she decided she doesn't want to stay there and like ruin their lives. She's like, guys, this is already so bad. Like, I need to get out of here. Like, I'm the problem. It's me. And Jake practically begs her to stay. And Caleb refuses to beg because he knows his own self-worth. And he's like, fine, you want to go? Go. But like, that's your choice. And he pretty much tries to convince Amari and Jake to do the same. And one of our favorite lines to Jake basically is just like, he says, because if she leaves us, she doesn't love us enough to stay and respect us enough to let us make our own decisions or want us enough to fight through this storm. My hurricane is the fucking storm. So when she remembers that fact, she'll come down those stairs and stir us all up.
Oh, I love that.
So good. He's like the brain and reasons. Like, Jake is the heart, you know? Yes. He's like the spirit, the heart. Or no, he's more like the heart.
Yeah.
Jake's the heart. Caleb is the brain, like the knowledge, you know, the logistics. But Ilmari is the spirit, I feel. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's just like the soul, like, got you. So then, thankfully, Rachel comes down and agrees to stay and fight for their relationship and to be fully part of their team, making the four of them her family. And this leads to Jake asking Rachel to marry him for like the 100th time. Let's be real.
Yes.
And it turns out the phrase that Ilmari has been saying to Rachel this entire time in Finnish literally is him asking her to marry him. It's like, It's like when you find out in Princess Bride that when he says, as you wish, it means I love you.
I know.
Like, Ilmari's just been saying, marry me.
All the time.
Over and over again. This whole time. And basically, they all agree to marry each other, theoretically, in the living room. They're like, okay, from this moment on, we're all married. We're married to each other. Like, you're my metamor. We're married.
My metaphor.
Metamor, yeah. And this leads to another spicy scene where Amari goes down on Rachel. And Rachel sits on Caleb's face while she gives Ilmari a blowjob. And then Jake gives Caleb a blowjob. And then Jake starts teasing Rachel with his cock without penetrating her, followed by Rachel then giving Amari a blowjob. And then, to add more complicated factors here, Caleb brings in a butt plug and puts it in Rachel and in Jake. And then Jake fucks Rachel. Then Caleb fucks Rachel with Ilmari then fucking her in the ass. And then, after that's happened, because, good Lord, so much fucking in so many ways.
How are they not tired?
How are they not exhausted? Like, you also, like, oh my God, just played a game and, like, all this stuff happened. So then once they've spent their physical energy, Caleb finally tells Jacob that he loves him, which leads, honestly, to a very, like, private and steamy moment between just the two of them. And you're like, it's about goddamn time.
I know.
Finally.
So the next morning, Rachel leaves for LA for a few days since she had already purchased the ticket when she spiraled the previous night, but at least she has a return date now. And I'm like, also, where's the family jet when you need it?
Right.
She wants to explain everything to her parents in person and doesn't want to stay in Jacksonville and stew while she's suspended, which I get. Yeah. Meanwhile, the guys have a plan to get Rachel her job back, and Jake has a plan to make a grand gesture when they make their relationship public. And Rachel has zero idea what's going on. In fact, her phone has been super quiet for the past few days. So, when the guys are finally in LA for the game, Rachel goes to this restaurant to meet them, except she doesn't find her boyfriend. She sees the general manager waiting for her. And I'm like, not great. Like, if I walked in that situation, I'd be like, red alert, what's happening?
You see your boss's boss there, you're like, oh, fuck.
Like, I don't want to be here.
No.
Well, it turns out the general manager is there because his house is on fire, literally, and he needs to put it out. So half the players are threatening to quit. The other half are demanding trades. He has a stack of letters from every professional player she's ever worked with, all singing her praises. Letters from support from every player on the team and the support staff, including the person that runs the coffee cart. And Rachel's like, I will talk to the team. Like, I'll convince them not to leave. And he goes, no, like, this is what teamwork looks like. This team is ready to burn down the Rays for you. So she's earned a second chance. So she does have to finish out her suspension. So the coach is satisfied. And then she can come back and finish out her fellowship on probation. And if that goes well, she'll get hired full time. And then the guys show up with Tess and they're all like thrilled to hear the news. Like, I'm just like, yay. And then I thought that was like a perfect way. Like, I thought, like, okay, we're going to get like one more scene or two for the book to end. I did not expect what happens next.
I didn't expect it. And honestly,
I loved it.
I almost cried. I
did.
cried.
I did cry.
Oh, yeah, you did. Of course you did.
Of course I did.
So, okay. So basically for tonight's game, Jake claims that Rachel has to wear his jersey tonight because he and Amari already flipped for it. So they're like, okay, fine. Like, I'll wear your jersey. Like, no more jersey drama. And so Rachel, Tess, and her mom arrive at the game, and there's a huge crowd of people shouting how much they love Rachel. And then there's these signs that just say price equals love. And she's like, what is all this?
Fuck?
What is going on? She's like, I expected there'd be some paparazzi and some craziness, but not to this level. Like, it's like crazy. And they finally get to their seats, and she sees Harrison and Amy, Jake's twin, is there too. And then Caleb finally tells her about how he and Jake came out and how the three of them have been doing press for the past 5 days about their entire relationship and like literally telling their entire real story, their love story, even the dildo part. And how,
I don't know if we needed that part, but
like, I don't think you needed to tell everybody that. Okay, buddy. But still, like how like Jake met her in Seattle and then Caleb met her and then Almari came in the picture, like the whole real like story. And then he's like, oh, and by the way, you didn't really know about any of this because you don't actually have your phone. Ilmari swapped it. So, oops, before he went to LA. So no one can contact you about this. And technically, she's like, okay, I kind of appreciate that. Like, it's been nice not having to like have to deal with anything. And there are a few negative stories out there about them, but who gives a fuck about them?
Yeah.
All of the people that are there tonight in that entire stadium, which it's for the Kings, LA Kings. So I'm just like, LA, Pride, we got you. Everybody's there supporting them, and they are all wearing Price jerseys, which she's very confused about. She's like, what do you mean? Like, why is there Price on a jersey? I don't understand. And then she also finds out that like the season ticket sales have doubled for the Rays, and all these people are on their sides, and all the people are chanting the name Price. And she's like, oh, okay, what do you mean? And then Caleb tells her, all of us are changing our last name to Price because you said the Price family sticks together. So now we're part of the Price family. And like Jake, of course, immediately comes out and he has like Price on his back. And then Caleb has Price on his back. And she looks at her jersey and it has Price on it too. It has like both the boys' numbers on it. And Caleb eventually tells her, Amari says he's going to have to marry you first before, or cohabitate with her for 5 years first before he changes his last name. But
I think that's because he's Finnish.
He's Finnish, yeah. He's like...
Yeah, I think there's laws around it.
Yeah. But it's just funny because he's just like, no, I will marry you or live with you and then I'll be Price. He's like, but I'm okay with it. It's cool. And he also had made like a big thing about like her calling him Ilmari and not Mars. He's like, no, my woman calls me by my name. Yes. And so then Jake and Ilmari come onto the ice and they are wearing their Price jerseys. So I've got Schmidt. They've got Price. All of them. And it's just, I almost cried. She says, I'll marry you if you win the game. And she says, I'll do it tonight if it's a shutout. So obviously that's going to motivate him very, very strongly. And then Rachel suggests, hey, Caleb, you should marry Jake. And then, as if like you couldn't get more just like amped up about everything, the lights go out and the national anthem is about to start. And guess who is doing the national anthem? Oh, it's Daddy Dearest. Oh. Daddy Dearest, the rock star Price, comes out onto the ice with his guitar and plays his version of the national anthem. And you're just like, well, fuck. This is great.
So
this
good.
Is just the best thing ever. And then we get our epilogue. It is 1 year later. We are at the Olympics where the Finland team wins the gold medal by the most craziest way ever. Literally, Imari is the one who makes the goal, which like is never heard of. Like the goalie rarely gets to make a goal, but he basically got a little breakaway, and the other team had pulled their goalie from the net because you can do that and you can add an extra player. And so nobody was there, and he just like goes for it, just like hits it, and it flies across the ice, scores the winning goal. Everybody goes crazy. Can you tell I like hockey?
A little bit.
It was fun. So they win the gold. And then they're all back in the hotel room, and things get very, very spicy. And Ilmari makes it clear, he's like, you two, Jake and Caleb, are not allowed to finish right now. Only he was allowed to finish. And then as he's literally having sex with Rachel, she has them tell them the news that she took out her IUD. And everybody's like, oh, fuck,
It's on.
does that mean what I think it means? She's like, yeah, babies. And literally babies. And they all fuck her, and they all finish inside of her. And it goes with Ilmari, then Caleb, then Jake. And it's like, who's going to win? Who's going to win the gene pool? I don't know. But it's a breeding fest up in there.
Yep. Okay. Hot and steamy. There's 20 chapters of Spice. This is a 5.
This is a 5. I mean, can we go
5.
higher than a 5?
I mean, we could do like, I think technically we have like a 6+ rating, but I feel like this, for things that don't have a lot of plot, I feel like this had a lot of plot. Like a 6+ is like basically their sex with a little bit of plot.
I know. I mean, I still would just give it a 6. I'm just like,
it's a lot.
This was so good.
Let's jump into it then. Okay, so chapter 18, which would have been a spicy chapter in most other books, feels super tame, which is when Jake and Rachel are masturbating while video chatting. And my favorite part of this is, because obviously she's using a vibrator, and he's like, put it in nice and slow, write it for me and let me watch. Fuck, I'm so fucking close. I'm gonna come in this shitty fucking bathroom watching you shatter, baby. And I'm just like,
oh God.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Come for me, baby girl.
Like that was, and that's tame.
Done. And that's tame. That's
so
nothing. Because then we get chapter 30 where Jake finger fucks Rachel while Caleb watches. And then Jake fucks her while Rachel sucks Caleb's cock in the bar's storage room. So a little Eiffel Tower action. You are so beautiful, Jake says, reaching between my legs to sink his fingers into me. I know what he's doing. He's using my wetness to lube his cock. I am so ready to go. I want this man inside me. I want Caleb to watch. And then Caleb says, stop talking and do it. You want me to stop talking too? I tease. Why don't you put my mouth to work? He's like, don't mouth it. Often you'll get exactly what you want. And then it is just fucking letting go. I moan in approval around Caleb's dick, giving them both my consent. We're not stopping until we've all chased our release. I want them undone. It's literally, it's just like, it's an echo of my orgasms, just aftershock after aftershock. She's sucking Caleb. He lets loose, comes in her mouth. Jake fucks her in the back, and you're just like,
it's just, this whole book is an echo of orgasms.
It's just,
so
that should be the title.
I know, right? Chapter 41 was when Rachel and Caleb have sex alone in her apartment kitchen, which we've already talked about was very possessive and hard and rough and amazing. But this man, the things he says, like, I don't even feel like I can read them in the same tone of voice that he does. But like, he's just like, I'm gonna fuck this pussy every damn day. Gonna own you, sweet girl, bend you over, spear you on my cock, Jake's cock too. You'll take us both together and you're in this pussy in your ass. You'll be begging us to stop even as you scream for more. And I'm like, that is a perfect depiction of the rest of this book.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Like,
I gotta say, this title was also genius. Like, she is not pucking around.
No.
With this. So then we get chapter 42, where Jake goes down on Rachel in the shower, and then they have sex in the shower. Yay, love shower sex. And he's literally just saying, or she goes, you think she missed you too? Talking about her pussy. And then he says, I know she did. He's like, this pretty pink pussy is all fucking mine. I swear you have the prettiest pussy I've ever seen. And then Her laugh dies in her throat a little bit as he latches on with his mouth, his hands circling around to fist my ass cheeks. Please, I murmur, spreading my legs a bit. I want Jake eating my pussy like it's his last meal.
Okay.
Yeah. Hot and steamy.
Hot and steamy. So chapter 45, Jake and Rachel have sex in the stairway at the charity gala. And so he's like in a tux and she's like in a gorgeous gown. And he's like, for 50 points, I'm going to rail you hard and fast. Your sweet pussy is going to come all over my dick. And then you're going to walk back out to that boring party with me dripping down your thigh. And I was just like, oh my God. And she's like, do your worst. Just cover my mouth when I scream. And then he tells her to take off her underwear. And she goes, too bad for you, Angel. I'm not wearing underwear. Which gave me very much like Pretty Woman. Oh, I'm not wearing pantyhose. Mm-hmm. And then he responds, you are my every fucking dream. And she goes, I know. Now get inside me. And I was just like, I love everything about the spice in this book because it's so good, but it also feels so authentic. Yeah. Like sometimes you read spice and I'm like, do people actually say that?
Right. You're like, that's a little too cheesy.
Right.
But this does feel pretty good. You have some cheesy moments, but like also it's not bad. I don't hate it. So we got chapter 48 where Rachel goes down on Jake and then Jake and Caleb go down on her. And basically, Jacob says, oh, fuck that, and growls, tossing the toy back to Caleb, crossing the room and diving onto the bed, burying his face into her. She cries out, her thighs locking around my head until she relaxes, letting herself fall open. Then I straight up devour her. Apparently, not all guys like the taste of pussy. A lot of locker room talk makes it seem like this is a chore, but fuck, I would live on my knees for a good pussy. And Rachel tastes so fucking good, sweet and feminine. I want to roll her over. I want her straddling my face. I want to drown.
Yep.
I think he likes it.
He does. And then we get to chapter 49, where we have the octopus tentacle dildo that's used in Rachel, followed by Caleb and Jake doing double DVP, as we've already discussed. Mm-hmm. Okay. And this is in Caleb's point of view. So as a reminder, she is writing Caleb when then Jake is coming in. And Caleb's like, I'm going to die. I can feel him. His tip is pushing in, gliding against my slit cock. And she's like, oh God, yes. And then he's like, so fucking good. Like, this is like Caleb's dream right now, right? Mm-hmm. And he's just like, move your hips, fuck us both, take control. And I'm just like, I know. And I thought that was the spice. Like, I was like, that was really spicy. And then it just continues to level up.
More.
I know.
Again, that's why I'm like,
the first book I would say that we have not said we need more spice. I mean, we would always take it, but like that wasn't our comment.
I did not need any more spice. This is Spice Central. It was a spice market. It was great. Yes. So then chapter 55, Caleb goes into full Dom mode and has Rachel go down on Jake, then onto him, and Caleb has Jake fingerfuck Rachel. And I forget whose point of view this is, but it says like, please, daddy, I want your cock. Want to make you feel so good. And then it's Rachel's. It's Rachel, yeah. And then he says, then get it out. And she pulls it out. His gorgeous cock is in my face, hard and proud. Silver barbells on the bottom catch the light in the kitchen. And he says, open, show me what that smart mouth can do. I open my mouth, gazing up at him as he pushes his tip between my lips, and I tease him with my tongue, letting it slide over his piercings. Even against my tongue, the ribbing feels too good. And she says, I'm not going to last much longer. Caleb groans, his hand softening in my hair. What a good fucking girl.
Oh, then we get to chapter 56, where Jake gives Caleb a blowjob for the first time, and then Rachel gives him one. And this is in Caleb's point of view. And we learn that Jake, he likes praise during sex. And he's like, you're such a good fucking boy. Look at you on your knees for me. But my favorite part is like when he tells Jake, like, you own me right now, take it all, take everything. And then we hear in Caleb's like inner monologue, holy fucking God, I'm coming so hard. I see stars. I cry out, my every sense swimming as Jake Compton lets his mouth fill with my hot cum, gagging as he fights the urge to swallow. Because like this has been such a big moment for Caleb.
Mm-hmm. A long
like
time
emotionally.
coming.
A long time coming, yeah.
And I don't mean that way coming. I can make jokes.
Yeah.
So then we get chapter 65 where Mars, Il Mari, bucks Rachel from behind and then goes down on her. And they're in the hotel room in Cincinnati. And he just growls and says, I will not be gentle. Good. My pussy is already desperate. And as if to prove his point, he shoves 2 fingers inside me, sliding so easily through my wetness. I cry out that first shudder of excitement at being filled, zapping me down to my toes. He thrusts in and out and letting me adjust to his thick fingers. I will not wear a condom. This is a claiming ruckus. I want to see my cum dripping from all your holes. And she says, enough talking. Do it, Mars. I'll be so good for you. Show me what you like and I'll make all your dreams come true. He leans his face closer. Bend over. Grab your ankles.
Yeah. I know. And then we go immediately next again in chapter 66 where he fucks her in the ass, right? And I'm just like, because he has no refractory period.
It does not exist.
It doesn't exist. And like she's telling him to go harder and he means to claim me, starts moving his hips in earnest. I'm a moaning mess, loving the feeling of my neck's orgasm building in my core. And I'm just like, how are you not exhausted? Like, he has a monster cock. How are we not exhausted?
Oh my God. But he doesn't need telling twice. He doesn't. He's a soldier, you know?
Yeah.
He's all up in there. And then chapter 68, Rachel gives Caleb a blowjob and Mars touches Caleb's pierced cock. What does it feel like for a man? Asks Mars. Jesus, I pant. If you're so curious, go get it done and find out. Or find a different pierced cock man willing to fuck you in the ass. Then you'll know. And Rachel looks up and says, do you want to come down here with me? Amari deadpans her. The man has 4 middle bars through his cock, Ruckus. I don't have to be gay to find that fascinating. Can I touch it? Well, kill me dead. Those are 4 words I never expected to escape from the mouth of Mars Kanunin. And then Jake walks in. So funny.
Chapter 69, Jake gives Caleb a blowjob. Rachel gives Amari one. And Caleb's just like, you were made to suck my dick. So beautiful on your knees, so powerful. And he's right. This is powerful. Every word out of his mouth lowers his walls. I want to keep him talking, keep him pretending he's owning this moment, but I'm in total control. I think deep down we both know it. And that's from Jake's POV. It's just, I love it.
Yeah. And then chapter 70, where Rachel and Mars have a sexathon at his house. Good Lord. Get over here, I say again. Stand up. He moves off of the other side of the bed and walks around the end. His massive frame looms over me as he brushes my hair back from my face with a gentle hand. What are you doing, Rakas? Judging our size difference at this angle, I pop up onto my knees on the edge of the bed and flip the cap off the tube of lube. Squirting some onto my chest, I grin up at him, tossing the bottle aside. Come here. What is this? You're gonna fuck my tits and blow on my face.
Okay.
Okay.
But then we get to chapter 73. So this is where we talked about earlier, where like Caleb's in the shower with Rachel going down on her. She yells for Amari. He comes in and he's then fucking Rachel. And she's like, Mars, I want him to. Please, I need him to. Need you both. Fill me. Fuck me, please. And then Caleb's like, what do you say, Mars? You were curious about my dick before. How about I shove it in our girl's ass and let you feel all 4 of those barbells up close and personal? And he responds, yes, Sanford, come. And that's the first time we see him actively share Rachel with someone else.
He can share. Sharing is caring.
It is.
And then we have chapter 74, because again, this just keeps going, you guys, and I am here for it. Jake fucks Rachel in a storage closet while she holds onto a hockey net, which is not very nice to do that to Mars. But she gives Mars a blowjob.
Very nice for Rachel.
Oh, it's very nice for Rachel. Yes. And she gives Mars a blowjob. So there you go. And he says, "You love to be watched, don't you, baby girl?" "Yes," she hums. "Such a good fucking girl. This pussy is heaven, so tight and warm, isn't it, Mars? I think our girl might need more. She loves to be filled." I pound her with each statement, and I know she's close. He better fucking decide what he's doing. "You just want to watch this time, big guy? Want to watch me show you how to use these nets?" And with a growl, he fists her hair, tipping her face back to look at him. "You want more, Rakas? Please, Mars. Oh, God, please." And then, as we all know afterwards, Elmari goes to Jake and says, "If you ever fucking touch her on one of my hockey nets again, I'll chop your dick off."
I mean, you can touch her, just not touch my hockey net.
Yeah, don't touch my hockey net. I will not share my hockey net.
No.
I'll share my woman, but not my net.
So, chapter 81, Jake fucks Rachel, then Omari fucks Rachel. So this is after, right? Like there's been, I believe this is going to be after they've done the whole Jersey thing, right?
Oh, yes.
And so like Caleb's like tied up. And my favorite part about all of this is, right, because they're all like having a good time. And he goes, "No waiting, baby. Come with me now. Come now, again and again, all night. Come for us. Be with us, baby girl." And I'm just like, how many orgasms? It's like, how many licks till you get this nerve of Tootsie Pop? How many orgasms until you die? Can you die from an orgasm? From too many?
Elmari cannot.
Or does the limit not exist?
The limit does not exist.
Because like the first time you're having sex with Jake for the night, he's like, "Come all night for us." And I'm just like, "Oh, okay."
Oh. Okay. But remember, you're fucking the monster cock.
I know. But this is my point. Like, how are we not tired?
How are we not sore?
I know.
Oof. She's got to do a lot of Kegels, I bet. Keep it tight. Then chapter 82. Rachel rides Ilmari while Caleb fucks her ass, and then Jake fucks Caleb. "Want Jake to fuck me into you, Hurricane?" I whimper, my arms already shaking. Of course. "He'll pound me, and I'll pound you, which will set off fireworks for Mars. You both ready?" "Do it." Mars replies, "Rakas, lie down on me." He helps me get the weight off my hands, folding me over against his chest. I'm pressed completely against him as Caleb curls over the top of me from behind, seated to the hilt in my ass. Then pressure is overwhelming as their two cocks fill me so full, I breathe through it, waiting for Jake to join us. "Come on, Jake, fucking do it." And Jake goes into Caleb, and they are all united. They're together. All complete.
Then we get chapter 100, which I didn't think it could get spicier. But chapter 100 is like legitimately everything in one chapter. Like Omari goes down on Rachel. Then Rachel sits on Caleb's face while giving Omari a blowjob. Then Jake gives Caleb a blowjob. Then Jake is teasing Rachel with his cock without penetrating her while she's sitting on Caleb's face. There's even more. There's butt plugs, but we're going to talk about the butt plug thing.
It's just
situation.
Like stuff everywhere.
It's a lot. Everyone's fucking everyone.
Yeah.
So
at this point, is that called an orgy? I mean,
I don't know the definition.
I think it's just
if you're all in a relationship, but if you're all in a relationship, is that an orgy?
That's just a Saturday night.
Yeah, I know. Or like a Tuesday, right?
A Tuesday.
So this is where there's butt plugs. Jake has one in. Rachel has one in. Fuck, I can feel it buzzing in your ass. Holy God. And Caleb's like, "Feel good?" Jake goes, "So fucking good. I can't last, can't focus." And Caleb goes, "Try harder, or maybe she'll make it harder." And then Omari, who's like watching them, goes, "Turn it up." And I'm just like, oh my God. Okay.
The Viking sex god in the corner is like, "Do more."
Done. More.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then we get our epilogue where Elmari goes down on Rachel after he's won the gold. And then he fucks Rachel. And then Rachel fucks Caleb, followed by Jake fucking Rachel. "Caleb, come," Elmari orders. "Take her. Take our wife. fill her. And suddenly Caleb looks almost afraid. I hold my hand out to him, shifting up to my elbows. Come here, baby. He steps forward, sinking to his knees on the edge of the bed with a soft wince. He's out of his element here. No games, no kinks. This is sex and intimacy on a whole other level, knowing what we both need. I take charge, rolling up to my knees. Lie down, I say, voice firm. Hurricane. Lie down, Caleb, I say, wrapping my hand around his head. I'm going to ride your cock like a fucking queen, and you're mine, my husband. This is all of us or none of us. Are you all in?
Oh, so good. Okay, in terms of what's next, if you enjoyed this book, you're also going to love the rest of the series. Highly recommend checking out the next 3 books. We also love the 2 novellas, which we've mentioned, Pucking Ever After Volume 1 and 2. We would recommend reading them after you've read you finished Pucking Wild, so book number 2 in the series. If you're looking for another wide shoes, but in Romanesty, then we cannot say enough wonderful things about The Never List by Jade Presley. Top-notch world building, plot, characters that we cannot stop thinking about.
Yes.
And if you want more hockey romance, then we also are big fans of the Agitator series by Megan Quinn. There are 5 books in that series, and the spice level heats up with each book.
Oh, yes, it does. Which you think, like, for hockey, you're like, this is very spicy, very hot. It's going to melt that ice.
Damn straight.
Maybe it was a little too quirky, but whatever. And then join us next week when we dive into the world of romantasy for our part 2 episode of The Primal of Blood and Bone by Jennifer Armentrout. Cannot wait. It's going to be a long episode, but buckle up. It's going to be amazing. Happy reading, everybody.
Happy reading. Thanks for listening to Late Night Reads. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Late Night Reads Podcast. And check out latenightreads.com for even more information about all the books we're reading. If you loved today's episode, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. And share the show with your fellow book lovers.